Hi, folks. In math, when you're talking about functions, you're talking about how you can go ahead and input and output numbers. Now, remember, we've done this before. F of x is equal to 2x, pardon me, 2x plus 3, or g of x is equal to 3x plus 9. Now, when you have a composite, what you're talking about is combining these two functions. And the way you do that is by saying of, pardon me, f of g. That is what you do. You're bringing these two functions together. That's called combining compound functions. Now watch what happens when you do this. If you're trying to find the f of g, you're trying to find out f of g of x. What are you doing with that? You're taking the g of x, which is 3 plus x plus 9, and you're inputting into this. So you have 2 times 3x plus 9 plus 3. And then you're multiplying. FOIL, as they say. 2 times 3, well, I know it's FOIL, but you're multiplying. 6x plus 6, 6x plus 6 plus 3 will give you 6x plus 9. That's going to be your answer for f of g of x. Now, let's assume, though, you play with it just a little bit, okay? Let's say you go ahead and you want to call this g of 3, okay? Let's say you're looking for the g of 3 in the composite equation. Well, g of 3 is going to mean that this is going to be 3. 3 is going to be inputted here. That's going to make 3 times 3 is plus 9. That's going to be 9 plus 9 is going to be 18. Now, if you have f of g, remember, f of g of x, like this, and you got that g of x is equal to 3, which makes it 18, you're then plugging the 18 in right here, and you're going to make it 36 plus 3 makes it 39. See what I did there? Now, whenever you're including another number, let's say you got this going. F of x, g of x is, let's say x squared plus 3. And let's say you have f, or maybe this way, you get this way. You got g of f of x. What is that equal to? You're trying to solve for g of f of x. What do? Well, you got g of f of x is going to be 2x plus 3. And that's going to be plugged into the g right here. Fx plus this 2x plus 3 is going to be plugged into this. So what happens? Then you have 2x plus 3, like this, and that's going to be squared. Because why? You have plugged this, inputted this into here. And therefore, you're going to have 2x squared plus 3, which means you're going to have 2x squared plus 3 squared, which is 9, plus 3, which means your answer is going to be 2x squared plus 12. That's going to be your answer when you have g of f of x, and g of x is right here, and f of x is here, and you put this into here. If you wanted to reverse that, and let's say you were going to have, we already did that. If you're going to go ahead and say, put x squared in, let's say you did it that way. You got x squared. You got f of g of x. What are you looking for? You're looking for f of x, g of x, which is x squared, which will go into here. So you get x squared going plus 3 going into 2x. So you have 2 times x squared plus 3 plus 3. Why? Because you're inputting the g of x into the f of x, and this is going to be where the x is going to be. And you got 2x squared plus 3 plus 3, 2x squared plus 6 plus 3, and you got, well, you got the same number. Oh, I forgot. You both have 3s. That's why you got it that way. Okay, well, maybe let's change this a little bit. Let's make this 5. Okay, well, if you get that number, you're still going to have them pumped in. Okay, x squared plus 3 becomes x squared plus 6 plus 5. And you're probably still, oh, okay, yeah. So you got 2x squared plus 6 plus 5 is going to be 2x squared plus 11. Now, I just changed that number. I didn't mean to confuse you if I did, but let's go ahead and do it this way. Let's say I went ahead and I changed just a little bit, and I said that was, how about this? F of g of x equals, that would be g of x being plugged in there. No, we don't want to do that. I've already did that. Okay, let's do it this way. G of f of x. How's that sound? G of f of x. Well, what you do is you're going to plug in the f of x, this into g. So you have x, gx, 2x plus 5. That's going to be squared. And that's going to be plus 3. To x squared, that's going to be this is going to be this here, f of x, we put into here. And it's going to be, x is going to be squared. 2x will be squared. 2x squared plus 10 plus 3, which will give you 2x squared plus 13. There we go. That should make more sense. Okay? See how I did that? So that's what it means by a compound functions or compound functions, okay? It means you're plugging in whatever number you have. You plug in this number and this. And if you are solving for g of 3, let's say you were solving for g of 3. Let's say you have, let's say you did this way. Let's say you have g of 3. Solve for g of 3. All right? You want to solve for g of 3. What would you do? G of 3. Well, that would equal 3 going into there. That would be 3 times, solve for, or actually, put it this way. You solve for this. You solve for f of g of 3 is equal to what? Well, then you would be putting the 3, inputting the 3 into the x squared. And that x squared would become 3 times 3. That'd be 3 in the x. That'd be 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 3 would equal 12. And then you would input that into 12 right there. That would be 12 times 2 is 24. Plus 5 is equal to 29. So that would suddenly become 29 is your answer. Okay? See how I did that? All right. We can talk more about that another time. I think that should be at least halfway clear, we hope. Thanks for watching.